bitch. Attila that track when I'm spilling that crack. My militia raid a villa, I'm a villain that's black. Back killing, mass stealing, my chillin' backpack. Rap skill is past means, rap building that.
What is up, you guys? This is Barack Ojama, president of Duel Academy, here with that Banish deck from my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, it has the Banish deck and how it runs. Really good, solid video, so I would recommend checking that out before watching this deck profile video, you know, just to see how it runs. Also, I said I was going to upload this a few days ago, but I've been caught up with a really big project that I know you guys are going to love. It involves me and my partner in crime, Forever Epic. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check out his channel. He's a really cool guy. Yeah, it's been a whole year since we've made a Yu-Gi-Oh rap. I'm trying to bring that back, and bring it back hard. It's straight fire. Bring out your Infernoids. I'm on the track. Forever Epic's on the track. It's really cool. I'm gonna give you a little clip right here, so check it out.
Okay, Karibo, kill him swiftly. Give opponents halos. People know I play hard. Staring down a quasar. Beta churn negate. I got that Skittles in my graveyard. Attacking me directly. You might have to taste the rainbow. Forever feeling flyer than the wings on my Karibo.
Did you get all that? If you didn't, I'll have the whole video up this Friday. But anyway, back to what you guys came here for. Let's get into this deck profile. Alright, so we got 40 cards, 7 in the extra deck, okay? So we're getting started with 3 Helios, the Primordial Sun, 3 Duos, and 2 Trios. Those cards play a big role in your deck because this whole deck revolves around banishing every single card from your graveyard and the opponent's graveyard. You want to make sure the graveyard is not involved in this game. All 3 of these different Helios cards is basically, one is a little bit stronger than the other one. So there's the single, the double, and the triple. Now the first tier one, Helios the Primordial Sun, for every monster in the Banish zone, he gets an extra 100 attack and defense points. For Duo, it's double that. And for Trio, of course, it's triple that. A big factor when playing this deck is what kind of deck your opponent is playing. Like if he's playing Light Sworn, for example, or the new Blue Eyes, which also has the graveyard as a big factor. This deck really pairs up very well against them. Also Red Eyes as well. Now the boss monster of this deck is of course Helios Trios. Not only can he attack twice if your opponent has a whole bunch of monsters on the field, this dude can get a lot of attack points. Between you and your opponent, you have 20 monsters in the graveyard, which 20 monsters is a whole bunch, but considering every single card is in the graveyard. So 20 monsters between, that's 10 for you and 10 for your opponent. He can get up to 6,000 attack and attack twice. That's pretty impressive to say the least. Up next, we got a Banisher of Light. Banisher of Light is a pretty vital card as well. If you don't have your spell and traps that you need to banish your cards, Banisher of Light is a good substitute. Even if you're just playing face up on the field in attack mode, he can still banish the cards you need to get the job done. DD Survivor, he's like a cockroach in this deck, man, because it's like every time he gets banished, he just comes back. So if you use him as tribute fodder for your Duo and Trio, you know, your Helioses, he just pops right back on the field. No matter how many times you crush this guy and banish him, he comes right back. How awesome is that? Not only that, he has a pretty decent amount of attack at 1800, so he's also a good offensive tool as far as a wall, because like every time you kill him, he gets banished to the graveyard. He comes right back on the field, bruh. That's awesome. Then we have a DD Warrior Lady. That's pretty self-explanatory. Let's say your opponent has his boss monster on the field and you just need to wipe it off the field. You attack with DD Warrior Lady. You take some points to damage, of course, but you get to banish that boss monster. And it's also a good wall. When I say a good wall, it's like if there's a monster you need to take care of with a high attack, just DD Warrior Lady. Now, DD Guide. He's a tricky card to use, because when you normal summon him, he goes to your opponent's side of the field, but at the end of his turn, my opponent has to banish a card, which I like that effect, and I only use it for certain situations, and I really only use that card if I don't have any other cards to banish with. Now, Gren, Maju, Eiza, whatever. This card could also be considered a boss monster at only 3 stars. This card gets 400 attack for each card in my banish zone. Since there's no graveyard, every card is going in my banish zone. If I get 5 cards in my banish zone, it gets 2,000 attack. If it's 10 cards, 4,000, etc, etc, etc. I'm only running 2 instead of 3. It's like, I mean, 2 just seems like the right amount because I really need more support as far as spells and traps in this deck, so that's why I'm only doing it at 2, it seemed like the right amount as far as that. Now, Swords of Revealing Light, self-explanatory. Noblemen of Extermination, good to banish cards. Let's say face down, they have Mirror Force. You banish that. They have 2 more, which they have a lot of multiples as far as spells and traps. So they would banish the other 2, which that is fantastic. Only need 1 of those. 3 reloads, because I need the right hand to do what I gotta do. Soul Release is just a really good card when I don't have the right hand drawn and they have cards going in the graveyard. I can just clean that up with Soul Release. Now, Upstart Goblin is just an extra card. You know, Upstart Goblin's just, you know, that extra 1 card in my space. The 1 Day of Peace, self-explanatory, it's stally, just gives me more time to banish more cards. Soul Absorption, dude, Soul Absorption is the MVP of this deck because every time a card is banished, you get 500 life points. You're just getting an insane amount of life points per turn. Let's say 3 cards get played in a turn and 3 cards hit the banish zone for that turn. You get 1500 life points. It's pretty good. I'm also running Solemn Warning. It takes 2000 life points, but with Soul Absorption, with all the life points you're getting, 2000 is really nothing. Bottomless Trap Hole, self-explanatory. You know, banish the monster, destroy the card, boom, big monster, pop. Dimensional Fissure, all cards get banished. Self-explanatory, that's what you need for this deck. 1 Raigeki, it's Raigeki, bruh. It needs to be banned, but I'm using it anyway, because I'm a scrub. Macro Cosmos. Macros Cosmos bans every single card on the field. It's probably the #1 card. That's what this deck mainly revolves around. Not only because of that, it also because of the Helios. It's because you get to special summon a monster, and you ban every single card on the field, which is insane. So you get every card banned, and I get the special summon. How cool is that? Now, Dimensional Prison, I run 2 of those, which self-explanatory, banish the monster that's attacking. It's a good defense, it's a good card. I love it. Dark Mirror Force, you don't really see this card getting played a lot, but it's pretty good for this deck because the main thing is to banish every single card. Now, Burning Mirror Force, instead of running regular Mirror Force, I'm using Burning Mirror Force. When my opponent attacks, it doesn't destroy their cards, it puts them in defense position face down, and they gotta stay there. So when I set that up and they have, let's say, play another monster, that sets up my Dark Mirror Force to banish them. Now to get into the extra deck, there's Eternal Flame Vixen, Hazy Flame, Castel, and of course Silent Arc, because come on, it's Silent Arc. Now, normally I would, analyze and give their descriptions, but I mean, it's the extra deck. You don't really use the extra deck that much, so if you would like to see what they actually do, just look them up in devpro or I guess maybe YUGIOH Wikipedia, just to get a further, knowledge of what they do. And I guess with that, that's it. I hope you try it out, see what works for you, but man, this deck is so fun, and it's like, I would say pretty anti-meta. So I hope you guys like this deck. I hope you have a lot of fun using it. I hope you guys check out Friday's video when that comes out. And on that note, I guess that's it from me. I'm Ojama, and I'm out. Peace, y'all.